Last year, I talked about Marvel Midnight Suns, and how its negative reception stemmed not from anything objectively bad, but from specific expectations. Marvel fans saw a CG trailer featuring all of their favorite characters and couldn't wait for another action RPG like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It didn't matter to them that Midnight Suns was something new, that it had fused together two genres into something not quite XCOM, not quite Slay the Spire, a wholly new experience that they'd never had. They wanted the old thing. Dune Spice Wars is another brand new title that's met with similar outrage at its apparent betrayal of beloved nostalgic memories. When fans saw a new Dune RTS, they couldn't help but draw similarities to the old games. Me, personally? I'm sort of past old school RTS games, or what should really be called RTT games, because a lot of RTS are not, in fact, real-time strategy, but real-time tactics. Don't get me wrong, Warcraft 3 was one of my favourite games growing up. Watch the first video I ever made on this channel if you don't believe me. But I've moved on to bigger picture strategy games like Stellaris, Crusader Kings, and Total War, where the focus is more on your overall strategy than your moment-to-moment micromanagement. With Northgard, Shiro Games sought to recapture the interest of old RTS fans who'd grown bored with the genre. Northgard was bold and new, choosing to slow down the action and focus on the economy surrounding your battles. It took cues from city builder games like Banished, choosing to completely rewrite what an RTS was. And with Dune Spice Wars, Shiro Games have once again created something entirely new and unique. Dune Spice Wars is one of those games that comes along every once in a two moon that makes me incredibly excited to think about design and moving parts. Like the board game Scythe, it marries its themes to mechanics, bringing together multiple disparate elements into a Rube Goldberg-like clockwork contraption that can only be described as elegant. Ornithopter flies out, scouts, points of interest are discovered, warriors go forth, capture, take. The village brings in resources. The resources unravel outwards into the branching paths of development. Meanwhile, on the sidelines, the Landsgrad unfolds. Influence is spent, decisions are made, effects are wrought. Elsewhere, technologies are picked, spies are dispatched. And this all takes place not in a vacuum, no. This game is not an experiment in mechanics alone, this is Dune. This is Arrakis. And Arrakis is a character in its own right. Understand, listener, that in this game you battle not only the other factions, but Arrakis itself. You might have heard Dune Spice Wars described as an RTS, or a 4X game, but I would describe it as a 4X RTS survival game. As you cross uninhabited sands, your supplies will dwindle, and your troops will take attrition. Raiders will attack your villages, and the delicate balancing act of resources will threaten to throw you into rebellion or debt, inviting the wrath of the Sardaukar. And just when you might think you've mastered the sands, beaten your enemies with blade and tongue both, the sandworm will come to show you just how small you are. Like XCOM before it, Dune Spice Wars makes me feel like my back is against the wall, never to an extremely oppressive degree, but enough to respect it. Enough to grip you and make you want to master its mechanics. In other words, like every other game I've been unable to put down, it might be 4 AM, but my hands tell me we're done when I say we're done. As you venture further out from your home city, building tributaries of spice to support the growing demands of the Imperium, you'll discover that there are all kinds of ways to win. Your operations are as potent as any spells I've found in other games, from simple scouting to well-timed buffs to inciting rebellion in enemy cities. These operations must be used to ensure victory. But each requires planning and can be unraveled by enemy counterintelligence. Indeed, you wouldn't want to be the victim of these operations yourself, would you? But like every other path to victory in the game, mastery of espionage comes at an opportunity cost. Would I rather go deep into spying, or dominate with the strongest soldiers? Or perhaps diplomacy is the right answer. It is these delicious choices that keep me awake in bed thinking about the next game I could play. This is without even going into the differences that make each faction unique. I could go into detail about mechanics here, but honestly, you'll find out. You'll get to min-maxing the tech tree, you'll get yourself into debt trying to figure out the resource juggling, and you'll figure out just exactly how to avoid sandworms. Because the fun is in the discovery, and I don't want to take that away from you. Don't let me give you the wrong impression. I don't think this game is perfect. I'm still exploring its mysteries, charting the tunnels that spiderweb out from beneath its deceptively dry surface. I will have a more mature opinion with some more hours under my belt. But I did not start this channel to nitpick. I started this channel to effuse about things that make me excited, things that make my brain light up. The wonders in this world diminish by the day, and so it is folly to dwell on tiresome trivialities for a single moment more than is mandatory. Little bugs spatter off my windshield, I do not care. Imbalances? Bitch, I played Endless Legend. The best games have a limp leg and a pimp walk, disfigured by the same happy accidents of creativity that are responsible for their brilliance. For my one complaint, I will say this. It is singularly unfortunate that, unlike Northgard, Dune carries not the weightless whimsy of an unknown world. For as alien as it once was, we now know Arrakis, or at least other versions of it. It brings attention, yes, but also the toxic demands of hardcore gamers. Their whims are fickle, and the consequence is brutal if you fall on the wrong side of popular consensus. But if you can empty your mind and see Spice Wars on its own merits, you'll sink through its rough surface and into its coruscating depths. I, for one, am lost.
The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. A process that cannot be understood by stopping it. We must move with the flow of the process.
When you play Spice Wars, if you do play it, don't seek to analyze it before you've experienced it. Don't seek to critique before you understand it. Gamers are stubborn, hard-minded, and at times obsessively categorical. We want to put everything in a box. Is this a 4X with RTS elements, or an RTS with 4X elements? Before they've even finished a campaign, the mind is looking for what is there and what is not. We seek to compare and contrast, rather than simply experiencing a game with fresh eyes. Perhaps that's why so many of us lament that games cannot hold the same joy they once did. We already know what we like, and this is not it. This is alien and unfamiliar. Just like Dune once was. Thank you for watching this video. My name's Greg and I'm an indie game dev here on YouTube. If you have any thoughts on this video, please leave them in the comments below and maybe we can share some ideas. Go beyond the thoughts that are contained in this video to reach a higher conclusion. And if you liked my thoughts, consider subscribing so I can continue to grow and see where this journey takes me. I'm Egregious Games. Have an exceptional day.